Welcome to Dominico Field, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Welland Jackfish and Wilgenis Alvarado on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Mateo Porcelato takes strike one. It'll be Porcelato, Morello, Martinez, Smybert, Pierce. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, as well as many teams having to deal with the rain, but the Maple Leafs and Brantford Red Sox, the only team last night that ended up actually getting rained out. That was supposed to be the start of Wilgenis Alvarado. So instead of pitching against the Brantford Red Sox, he's on the mound here against the Toronto Maple Leafs, making his first start at Dominico Field. As he delivers in there for a strike to Porcelato. Wilgenis Alvarado will feature a hard fastball and a nasty slider. Ton of movement.
And he's had a sensational year. 8 games he's appeared in, 2 starts, and sitting with that 1.47 ERA on the year. He's been sensational for the Maple Leafs.
One, two, check swing, he got him. Wilgenis Alvarado starts out with a strikeout against the Welland Jackfish. Now, Alvarado is no stranger to playing against Welland. He pitched one of the best starts we've seen from anyone this year on pretty much any team against the Welland Jackfish last time out. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, and just 3 strikeouts. So interesting to see him get a strikeout in the first batter of the game this afternoon. But yeah, Alvarado brings a lot of stuff. The only problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they lost that game against the Welland Jackfish 2-1.
Yeah, Welland has just been a really good team, to say the least, all year long, sitting atop the IBL currently. Yeah. And really, they've been the team to beat whenever they play. The best away record, 9-2, and then now, after the Maple Leafs lost that game to the Barrie Baycats, Welland has taken over with the best home record as well.
Gio Morello way out in front of the slider from Alvarado. Talked to Maple Leafs catcher Justin Mara about the pitch repertoire that Wilgenis Alvarado features. He said it's the best he's ever seen in the Intercounty Baseball League. 1-2, and this one's crushed deep to right center field, and it's gone. Gio Morello smashes one to right center field, and the Welland Jackfish take a 1-0 lead.
And what a swing Morello put onto that one. That right center gap where it dips just a little further. And really, it was almost like a no-doubter, just so much power.
Morello was sitting on the fastball all at bat. He was way out in front of the slow slider from Alvarado, and then he finally got his fastball on a 2-strike pitch. Alvarado was trying to get it a little bit more up than that, and Morello hammered that one. Ground ball to shortstop. Jose Vinicio fields it, lobs one over to first to Jordan Castaldo, and there's one away. Toronto Maple Leafs have Aiden McCaskey in left field this afternoon, Ryan Dos Santos in center, and J.J. Dutton in right. Jesse Hodges is going to make his first start at third base for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We know Jesse Hodges can play third base because that's the position that he played coming through his professional baseball days. Jose Vinicio at shortstop, Dan Mara at second, Jordan Castaldo at first. Alvarado delivers way outside, ball 1. So 1-0 Welland Jackfish here in the first inning. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Justin Mara. James Smybert is at the plate. Smybert swings and misses, and behind on the count 1-2. Despite giving up the home run, Wilgenis Alvarado looks like he has pretty good stuff this afternoon. Bet you that encourages him to go to the slider a little bit more. He does there, and it's popped up. On the infield, Jose Vinicio makes the catch. Alvarado suffers a home run, the solo shot variety to Gio Morello, but looks pretty good other than that. The bats for the Toronto Maple Leafs coming up to the bottom of the first inning we go. So a big fly from Gio Morello gives the Welland Jackfish a 1-0 lead. Maple Leafs trying to respond here in the bottom of the first inning. And the Jackfish are going to go with James Bradwell from Roberts Creek, British Columbia. Bradwell's off to a great start so far this year. He's pitched in 4 games, 2 of them starts. This will be his 3rd one of the year. Jose Vinicio hits one on the ground up the middle. Play is made, dropped momentarily. The throw to first is just in time. James Smybert had a little bit of trouble with it.
And it looked like Vinicio just kind of off the bat was a little frustrated with himself when that one was going up the line. Took a little bit of speed off running. Didn't expect Smybert to have a little bit of a fumble.
So Justin Mara is at the plate now. Mara check swings, ball's in the dirt. No swing, says the third base umpire.
And on the season, Justin Mara, the average taking a little bit of a dip, just south of 300. Sitting at 283, but the power is still there. Sitting second on the team, 7 home runs, and then 18 RBIs. He's been having himself a good year. One of the consistent bats in this Maple Leafs lineup.
Line drive into the outfield. That one's down for a base hit. Justin Mara with a 1-out single, and the Maple Leafs have some life here in the first inning against James Bradwell. So the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs were here at Dominico Field, they lost a game in pretty heartbreaking fashion. Bases loaded, nobody out twice in extra innings, in the 11th and the 12th. And the big one was the triple play that Jordan Castaldo hit into. He smashed the ball on a line to first, couldn't have hit it any harder. And it went for a triple play. The tag applied to the runner trying to get back to second, and then Ryan Dos Santos thrown out at third base as well. As he came home, he thought the ball had taken a hop off the dirt, but it was caught on a shoestring catch at first base.
Yeah, just very unfortunate that ending there for the Maple Leafs against the Baycats. Really, you thought for parts of the game that they could get back into it, try to scratch and claw, and that's what they were doing. They got a great pitching performance from the pitching staff as a whole. And they got the one mistake that Barrie made to tie the game, and then they just couldn't get that capitalizing run to win it and walk it off.
Castaldo takes a strike over the outside corner. It's 1-2. Castaldo hitting .273 on the season. Takes it low. Inside, ball 4. Justin Mara pushed up to second base. Jordan Castaldo takes his walk. He's off to first, and here's Garrett Takamatsu. Toronto Maple Leafs have Garrett Takamatsu, then Jesse Hodges, Aiden McCaskey, Dan Mara, Ryan Dos Santos, and J.J. Dutton hitting in the 9 spot. J.J. Dutton's been really good with the bat this season. Coach Rob Butler probably trying to find a little bit more production at the bottom of the lineup, because Jose Vinicio at the top of the lineup, he's not a bad guy with runners on base as well, because he is hitting .331 on the season, and he's turned it on in the last about a month.
Yeah, Jose Vinicio has been, I guess you could say, consistent, to say the least, about him.
Yeah.
In that one spot.
Takamatsu hitting .386. Production has dropped off just a little bit over the last couple games, but Garrett Takamatsu continues to be one of the toughest outs in the Inter-County Baseball League. although he was 2 for 4 against the Barrie Baycats in that game here at Dominico Field. The Maple Leafs lost 5-3 in 12. 0-1. Takamatsu swings and misses.
And we haven't seen the full power of Garrett Takamatsu come out yet. 1 home run and 1 double so far on 17 hits. So we know it's in there. We know it's bound to come, the power on that bat.
Takamatsu swings and misses. He's not picking up that James Bradwell breaking ball very well out of the hand. And now there's 2 away with a runner on first and second. Jesse Hodges playing third base, and he is in place defensively of John Salazzo this afternoon. Jesse Hodges' bat, I'm sure, would have been in the lineup whether John Salazzo was here or not, but the significant part about that is that the last time the Maple Leafs played the Welland Jackfish in that 2-1 loss, the only run the Maple Leafs got was a John Salazzo solo shot. Hodges takes a strike.
And not having that bat of John Salazzo in the lineup today does put a little bit of a damper, but this offense is still very, very deep. Jesse Hodges, not that far, not really a downgrade to say the least from John Salazzo at third, still has a ton of power in his bat.
0-1. And it's up high, 1-1. James Bradwell comes in with a pretty nice resume for the Welland Jackfish, a guy who has some college experience, but more recently some professional experience. 3 years playing in Quebec in independent baseball. Played with Quebec and then the Trois Rivières over the last 2 seasons. This one's hit sharply. James Smybert makes a play on a tough hop and goes the easy way to second. And the Maple Leafs get 2 on, but are retired in the bottom of the first. To the second we go, 1-0, Welland Jackfish. Welland Alvarado back on the mound for his second inning of work. And if you haven't tuned in a couple weeks, Welland Alvarado is a starter now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Looks like that's what his role is going to be. scheduled to start in Brantford, so that got pushed back a day. And a little bit of a different challenge facing the Brantford Red Sox against the Welland Jackfish. But let me tell you, Wellland Alvarado has faced both teams in a start this year, and both have been a good start. The one against the Welland Jackfish was his best of the year, and that was his last time out.
Yeah, and he's really, it was ever since the start of the season when he first got to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, that first outing when he was in the bullpen was a little bit rocky, you know, wasn't sure if he fully had his command. But since the season has gone on, he has just gotten better and better as that one just gets away from him there. But as a whole, Wilgenis Alvarado, he's put together a very strong season after that first maybe one or two rocky outings.
Yeah, remember when Wilgenis Alvarado started with the Toronto Maple Leafs? You remember that outing? He couldn't throw a strike, was walking a bunch of guys, and now this. Boy, what a turnaround since the first time we saw Wilgenis Alvarado. And to be honest, we didn't know that this was coming either. I mean, we had never seen him pitch, obviously, but we were thinking, oh man, guy with control issues.
Yeah, it didn't look very promising to start, but he's really changed everybody's mind in and around the ballpark.
Well, that one is a walk inside ball 4. So that'll send McCoy Pierce down to first base. McCoy Pierce has been on a tear, winning Player of the Month in the Intercounty Baseball League for June. Pierce takes inside or up and away. Batter now is so Caleb Fursteak in the batter's box now out of Waterloo, Ontario, batting .417 to start the season. And he's squaring to bunt and he pops it up, but it's out of the reach of Justin Mara. Fursteak has had 24 at-bats for the Welland Jackfish. One of the more recent acquisitions by Welland, and he was a guy the Welland Jackfish hadn't seen in a little while. He had a great season back in 2019 for Welland, where he played 27 games and hit .312. And now he's back in a Welland Jackfish uniform 4 years later. So that one is just outside. It pops into the glove of Justin Mara, but not enough for McCoy Pierce to advance the extra 90 feet.
And like you said, he's only been back and played in 8 games so far, but batting .417.
Yeah.
After taking that, a couple of years hiatus away from the Jackfish?
Outside again, ball 4. So Wilgenis Alvarado has walked the first 2 batters in the top of the second inning. And remember, in that start in 8 innings last time against the Jackfish, he had only walked 1. I think it'll be hard to be as efficient as Wilgenis Alvarado. He was just over 100 pitches through 8 innings in that last start. But the big thing was that he didn't waste a lot of pitches because everything was a ground out or a pop out off the bat of Alvarado. A guy with high strikeout numbers went 8 innings, didn't allow a run, allowed only 2 hits, and he only struck out 3. Good defense behind him by the Toronto Maple Leafs. The defense has been good the last couple weeks from Toronto. Line drive, foul down the line. Almost the first bit of action for Jesse Hodges over there at third base. Last time I talked to Jesse Hodges, he said he doesn't play third base anymore.
And just a little quick snippet on Alvarado. He's only walked over 2 batters twice so far this season. One was that first appearance he had with the Maple Leafs, and the last time was against Guelph, where he only walked 3. So he's been very, very consistent when it comes to just limiting base runners.
And there's a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Alvarado, and now he's got a double play in order to get him out of the inning.
And just a great pitch right there to Sam Cocker. Really able just to kind of get out of any trouble. Had the leadoff walks, comes back with a strikeout, and like you said, just that one ground ball away from getting out of the inning unscathed.
So Gio Morello at the plate. Homered. Or Steven Moretto, sorry. Oh, man.
A lot of similarities in the names. Don't worry, I had to do a double take as well.
Yeah, it's just I wasn't looking hard enough. 2-0. And this one's blooped towards center and caught on the run, and they're going to get the double play. Throw into second by Ryan Dos Santos, and some poor base running there from the Welland Jackfish, as Dos Santos had a pretty good beat on that ball, but a guy who has a lot of speed in center field. And the good defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs continues, but they trail 1-0 to the Welland Jackfish. The Bats coming up. Aiden McCaskey stands in now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. James Bradwell on the mound. McCaskey hits a sharp ground ball to shortstop. Smybert picks it up, throws to first just in time. That ball actually died on the grass a lot before it got to James Smybert, making it a close play. And a strong throw over there to first base.
And that has a little bit to do with just the rain that happened last night. It was pouring here in Toronto. So the grass maybe a little bit, a little bit wet, a little bit thicker. So when the ball's just rolling there, it just dies.
Here's Dan Mara. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. Strike two. Dan Mara is 7th in the Intercounty Baseball League in batting average, leading the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Sitting at that 379 average.
Not bad.
It's all right. It'll play.
I mean, there's multiple 400 hitters with qualified amount of at-bats this year as well. Probably the most incredible story that I don't think anyone saw coming was Matt Fabian of the Brantford Red Sox hitting 460 still. He was off to a hot start, and it's like, oh yeah, you see the big average. Well, his average is going up.
This far into the season, that's a rarity sometimes.
Yeah, and then James Smybert of the Welland Jackfish, the shortstop, has come into this game hitting an even 400. Those are the only two guys in the 400s this year. Another ground ball to James Smybert. He throws to first, 2 away. Ryan Rio's up there as well, hitting 397. And then another guy, Gus Wilson of the Brantford Red Sox, hitting 392. And the Brantford Red Sox have now won 4 games this year in the Intercounty Baseball League. Last year they were a team that was pretty much a win every single time out. I don't think there's any other way to say it. This year, not the case. The Barrie Bay Cats lost to them. They beat the Barrie Bay Cats and the Toronto Maple Leafs to go on a 2-game win streak with the Brantford Red Sox.
It's pretty impressive to see that the turnaround that they've had this year.
And then you say, oh, well, it's Brantford, and, you've seen what they did last year. Well, 2 of the top 3 in the Intercounty Baseball League in batting average are from the Brantford Red Sox. How about that?
Yeah, having their players having a good season. Obviously, the win total only at 4 on the year, not where they were hoping to be. But, again, you have some promising hitters over there in Brantford. You have some guys that you can kind of work around for a couple years to come.
Ryan Dos Santos at the plate takes strike 3 called on the fastball. Good inning of work from James Bradwell. He sets down the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1, 2, 3. J.J. Dutton left in the on-deck circle. 1-0, Welland Jackfish as we head to the third. Sunny and warm afternoon here at Dominico Field as the ball is lined into the outfield for a leadoff base hit. The Welland Jackfish have something going here in the top of the third. Hogan Brown is on first base. So 2 hits given up now by Alvarado, both of very different varieties, a solo home run and a single the opposite way. Back to the top of the order, it's Mateo Porcelato.
And his last time up, Porcelato went down swinging.
Takes way inside. That slider might have slipped out of the hand a little bit there of Johannes Alvarado.
And we've seen that a couple of times so far, where the slider's been kind of slipping out and he's losing his grip. It's going far into that left-handed batter's box. And we know if he has that slider working, he is on his game.
Another one that misses inside. Could be just about finding that release point too, out of the hand.
Yeah, for sure. When the slider's clicking and you have that release point nailed down, well, Johannes Alvarado has one of, if not the best slider in the IBL.
And this time he spikes it in the dirt. So 3-1. Took a couple pitching clinics in my days up through minor baseball, and it's always a big conversation, especially on breaking balls and curve balls mostly, just getting that release point well out in front of your body, making sure you're not trying to spin it from up top, as that one finds the outside corner, 3-2.
Were you ever told growing up that throwing a curveball you're gonna break your arm or hurt your arm that way? Were you ever told that as a kid?
Not really, no.
Yeah, all my coaches every time they're saying, "Don't do it. Just stick with the fastball changeups."
Yeah. That slider had Porcelato in bunches, but he got a piece of it and fouled it off.
Yeah, that was the kind of swing where you just see the excuse me swing just to stay alive. Like I said, if Johannes Alvarado can get that slider working today, he can throw it with the best of them. Have these hitters off balance.
Another full count pitch. Got him. Found the release point on the slider that time, as that was a nasty breaking ball over the inside corner.
And if you're the Maple Leafs, that's exactly what you want to see out of Johannes Alvarado on the mound. Have that slider working and then mix in that fastball in the outside corner, because when you're throwing the fastball there, it's looking like it's an extra 2-3 feet out if you're a hitter.
Hogan Brown, the runner at first, was faking to go and then holds his ground. So now Gio Morello, who hit the home run in his first at-bat, the only damage surrendered by Johannes Alvarado thus far. Runner goes. It was a late jump throw down, and that was almost a delayed steal there from Morello. Justin Mara was not expecting to have to throw that ball down to second base, and we see him quite frequently stay on 2 knees to throw the ball down to second, but that time I think it was a little bit of a delayed reaction.
Yeah, it kind of seemed that Hogan Brown, when he took off, he wanted to go, stopped, and then somewhere halfway down the line, he just figured, take off.
Screw it. So now a runner in scoring position. 1 out. Runner on second. Jackfish trying to extend the lead. Alvarado starting to fall behind some of these Welland Jackfish hitters. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Check swing, and he went around 3-2. That was a fastball from Alvarado.
And the Welland Jackfish, they have the best offense, and I think it's pretty clear to say and look at, really. Oh, excuse me, actually, their run differential is one worse than the best offense, and that's the Kitchener Panthers. They have the 70 run differential to the Welland Jackfish's 69.
And that one hit him. Morello will head down to first base. Alvarado hits Gio Morello on the 3-2 pitch. And now it's Carlos Martinez who steps to the plate. So this is a very new acquisition for the Welland Jackfish. And a guy that's probably going to provide a lot of offense as well. They ended up dropping Brandon Nicholson, and they opened up an import spot. And they ended up picking Alberto Guerrero, and then Carlos Martinez comes as well. He's a catcher, so gives a little bit of competition there in the Welland Jackfish catching rotation. Carlos Martinez coming out of Colombia. And he hits one on the ground. Jesse Hodges, a diving stop, gets up, throws to first. Welcome back to third base, Jesse Hodges. What a play.
And we've seen another third baseman for the Maple Leafs make plays like that in John Salazzo, but Jesse Hodges, what a snag. And then to get back to his feet that fast and make a key throw over to first on the money. A huge out, number 2 right there for the Maple Leafs.
So Jesse Hodges is a third baseman. He's not just a pitcher.
Check their baseball reference.
Maple Leafs, Jeff Lounsbury is standing right behind us. We got to see the reaction on that play. Yeah, Jesse Hodges, originally a third baseman, and then since coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs has played some outfield and has been pitching as well. James Smybert comes to the plate. Johannes Alvarado trying to escape a little bit of a jam here. 1-0. Hit on the ground to first. Jordan Castaldo scoops it up. And Johannes Alvarado gets out of it. Maple Leafs out the bats coming up. The bottom of the third we go. It's 1-0 Welland Jackfish. J.J. Dutton's going to lead things off for the Maple Leafs. J.J. Dutton, Jose Vinicio, and then Justin Mara this inning. Vinicio and Dutton, both guys who are dangerous on the base path, to say the least, if one of them can get on. There's a swing and a miss, strike two.
And J.J. Dutton, you know, he started off very, very hot, went on a little bit of a cold spout, but he's come back again. He's playing some very good baseball. 19 hits on the year, 352 average.
Dutton swings and misses. Let me tell you, James Bradwell has the Maple Leafs guessing wrong at the plate almost every single time there's one away. James Bradwell hadn't given up a run in his short IBL season until July 6th against the Brantford Red Sox, although it didn't matter much in that game. It was part of an 18-5 win for Welland. Gave up 3 runs over 4 1/3, which is still a pretty respectable line. But other than that, he went 4 innings of scoreless ball against the London Majors, pitched an inning against Barrie, and pitched 2 against Hamilton. And in the 3 outings that I just mentioned, just allowed 3 hits. Vinicio taking all the way, and I mean all the way at the plate.
And I think it's safe to say that James Bradwell has been one of the most untouchable pitchers so far this year.
Yeah. Short sample size, but he's been really good. Now Vinicio cracks one to right field. It had lots of distance, but it's well foul. It is probably the most humid day that we've had here at Dominico Field yet. And it's hot and the wind is blowing straight in from center field. Now Vinicio fights another one off, but again, not able to put a very good cut on a James Bradwell breaking ball.
And usually we're up here, you know, complaining about the wind hitting us in the face, but not today.
It's warm wind.
It is a very, very humid day. And again, it has to do with all the rain that happened overnight.
0-2. And it's fought off again by Jose Vinicio. If you're a Blue Jays fan and you watch Bo Bichette and how much he thrives in the 2-strike counts, Jose Vinicio is quite similar in that regard.
And they both rock amazing high socks.
Yeah. 0-2. And it's lined on a couple hops back up the middle. Jose Vinicio does not care about 2-strike counts. He just puts the bat on the ball and gets himself a base hit. So now speed is aboard, and Justin Mara is at the plate. With the way that Bradwell is pitching, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jose Vinicio in motion. The Toronto Maple Leafs may be thinking that it might be difficult to string together a bunch of hits. Although Justin Mara does hit righties very well. Vinicio goes, and there'll be no throw down to second base. Jose Vinicio had stole that by a mile.
And what a jump that he got on that one. He was running before Bradford even got a lift. His leg lifted. Just great work right there on the bases by Vinicio. I believe that's number 17 on the season. And he's just done phenomenal.
Bradwell with 15 strikeouts and 11 1/3. Jose Vinicio going, now he runs back. Nearly disaster there on the base path from Jose Vinicio is he's been watching James Bradwell in the dugout, and he thinks that he has that motion timed up a lot. There haven't been a lot of runners on base, but Jose Vinicio just went a fraction before the first movement. He knew exactly when that ball was coming to the plate. Now he's going to have to hold, as that timing has probably been thrown off a little bit with the early jump to second base, but if anything, now maybe splitting the attention of James Bradwell between second and home.
And if you're Bradwell, that is a scary thought to have. You have Vinicio basically dancing out there on the base paths. But you can't forget about the guy who's at the plate in Justin Mara.
Long look back. Now the pitch is low and away.
Anything that hits outfield grass here, you got to think that Vinicio's on his horse and he's scoring from second with his speed that he has and the timing that he has on Bradwell.
Way inside, not going, but if Vinicio can steal a sign and pick out a breaking ball, he would definitely be able to take third base. Not only is that pitch considerably slower than the fastball, but a lot of them are down in the zone, and breaking away from third base, which would make it tough to throw down there. 3-1, and the pitch is hammered. This one to left field, and it's gone! Oppo Taco for Justin Mara, and the Maple Leafs take a 2-1 lead.
And that's what you needed, and credit Jose Vinicio on second base for getting in the head of James Bradwell. Justin Mara puts himself in a 3-1 hitters count, and then just goes Oppo Taco, and the Leafs have the lead.
Yeah, the rhythm was broken up. The rhythm of this entire ball game was broken up by Jose Vinicio on the base path, and Justin Mara capitalizes. He just showed a lot of pop there to left field. The wind is not helping him at all. It's blowing in, but he still muscles it over the fence in left field. So 2-1 Toronto. It was a low-scoring affair last time these two teams played. In fact, this was the score, but in favor of the Jackfish. Jordan Castaldo comes to the plate. Nobody on. Garrett Takamatsu on deck. Pitch is inside.
Was doing was just so impactful to mess up the timing of James Bradwell, and now momentum is just shifted on the side of the Leafs, and Jordan Castaldo has put himself into a very favorable count.
Takes a strike. Two homers and 17 RBIs this season for Jordan Castaldo, and that batting average is starting to creep closer to 300. On the ground, busy day for James Smybert. He throws to first, 2 away. I forgot to mention as well, when Jeff Lounsbury, Maple Leafs GM, was standing behind us watching that play at third base by Jesse Hodges. And I was like, so he does play third base? And he says, yeah, go check Baseball Reference. So here's Garrett Takamatsu. And the first pitch is over the outside corner. Swing and a miss. Takamatsu's having some trouble with that James Bradwell breaking ball.
And you can kind of see again, once Bradwell doesn't have runners on base, he's gone back to that original timing that he had to start the game, and he's back in kind of a cruise control.
And another breaking ball in the dirt. Takamatsu swings right through it, and for James Bradwell, that's 4 strikeouts now, but he does give up the 2-run home run to Justin Mara. The Maple Leafs take a 2-1 lead as we take a look at the Bushmen going to break. Alvarado back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Surrendered a little bit of damage on the base path in the last inning, but got out of a second and third situation. Keep the Welland Jackfish at just the 1 run. The pitch count for Alvarado starting to get up there a little bit. They're at 55 pitches.
And he's looked really, really good, really all day long. A couple sliders kind of slipped out of his hand. But ever since that, he's just kind of settled down and he's looked sharp. It's a good day at the ballpark.
Alvarado's 1-1 is up high. So if you haven't heard, Red Bull has a new flavor. It's called the Apricot Edition. There we go.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
We just got handed these in the
Let me go over
broadcast booth. Apricot strawberry.
Believe it or not, I've actually stocked these at the store I work at.
Have you really?
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this. So
I'm taking a live taste test
Hold
on the IBL.
Let me put it near the mic so you can.
Ooh.
There we go. Okay, that just got all over my shirt, so that's great. Yeah, it's really good.
Really good?
It's really good.
Ooh. We're having fun up here in the broadcast booth. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's good.
It's actually, I didn't know apricot and strawberry would taste that good.
This one's skied. Who's going to find it? Jose Venicio's going back. He says he has it, and he's right. He makes the catch for the first out. McCoy Pierce is retired. Yeah.
Now batting right fielder number 1, Welland.
Yeah, Red Bulls are good, and this is not a paid sponsorship. It just, I don't know if you've seen, if you live in Toronto, very frequently you'll see people drive around in like the Red Bull car. And I don't mean like Red Bull Racing F1, I mean like a car
that has a Red Bull can on
yeah,
it.
with a giant Red Bull can on top. And they'll go around, and these people with backpacks that are also shaped like Red Bull cans will just go around and hand them out, like frequently at parks. Or I went to TMU University, so walking around the campus there'd be a lot of times where people would just hand them out. So it's a common thing, but I guess they're...
And a new flavor.
And it's great. I take one every time.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hate between all the energy drinks. I like the Red Bulls. Monster's also very, very good.
I actually had never had an energy drink, like a Red Bull or a Monster.
Until you tried the free ones?
Yeah, until I tried a free one.
That's how they get you. That's how you get hooked on them.
Yeah, and it worked. So Caleb Fursteak is at the plate. And he takes a strike. So it's 1-1. Fursteak walked in his first plate appearance. And now he smashes one towards center field, and it's going to drop in the outfield in front of Aiden McCaskey, who has some trouble with it. Here's a play at second, and he's in there. That was some heads-up base running that time from Caleb Fursteak. And he gets himself what maybe scored as a double, but could go either way. Aiden McCaskey was, I think, thinking about trying to come in and dive for that ball, and then ended up catching it on the in-between hop. And it bounced away from him just enough for Fursteak to take the extra 90 feet.
Yeah, I think you can probably mark that down as a double, because the way that McCaskey ran in on it, it looked like he wanted to take a stab at it diving, but ultimately kind of pulled up last second, and then the ball just glanced off the glove.
So hearing that, the scoring inquiry there was actually a single and an error.
Okay. Well, then everything I just said is wrong.
In the dirt, blocked by Mara, and that caught Justin Mara, I think, right in the throat as it bounced up. Let it bounced up off the corner of the plate, so he's going to take a minute here.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those bouncing in front of the plate. Not sure if there's a divot or if there's part of the plate that sticks up a little bit more. But we've seen a couple of them where they just, they hit off that plate and they bounce up almost over the backstop. They bounce away over to the dugouts. And like you said, that one just kind of catching Mara up in the throat.
Yeah, I was walking around out there before the game, and the batter's box actually looks really good. The grounds crew did a really good job today, because this field, I mean, as many will know if you're watching baseball yesterday, this field was a mess.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job to clean it up, and a lot of work was done on the batter's box as well. 1-1 to Sam Cocker. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball from Alvarado. Interesting to see, Welland Alvarado doesn't seem to care whether it's a lefty or a righty. Welland Alvarado is a lefty, so throwing that breaking ball to lefty batters would seem to make more sense, but today he's used it pretty equally between both righties and lefties. 1-2. Fastball got him. Big swing and a miss, and Welland Alvarado has struck out 4.
Now batting at third baseman, number 15, Steve Milano.
And just going back to his off-speed pitch, he kind of has a deception where against righties, it's more of a vertical drop instead of that horizontal drop. And then against lefties, it goes more horizontal, and that just kind of comes down to the way he releases the slider. And when he has it working like that, it's very impressive to see that he's able to, utilize it against both sides of the plate.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't noticed that, but that would explain why that makes sense. And there's the one right there you're just talking about, more of a curveball from Welland Alvarado.
Yeah, if you kind of just grip it a little bit more forward, you can kind of get a more top spin on the ball, let alone kind of that side spin. And if you're a fan of Blue Jays baseball, you see it a lot with their closer in Jordan Romano.
That might explain as well, with the diverse mix of lefties and righties in the lineup, why Welland Alvarado at times this game has seemed to have a little bit of trouble with the release point on the breaking ball. This one's hit to left and deep and gone. It just stayed inside the foul pole down the left field line. Steven Moretto hits a home run, his 5th of the year, and the Jackfish retake the lead.
And it looked like he tried to sneak a pitch on the inner half right there on Moretto, and he did not miss it. Pulled it right down the line, no shot, no doubt about it. Good swing right there by Steven Moretto.
Now batting at left fielder, number 24,
So back and forth we go, this time 3-2 Welland Jackfish on a 2-run home run. And then Welland Alvarado spikes a pitch outside. He has to deal with Hogan Brown, who singled last time up. This one's hit sharply to second base. Dan Mara fields it. Plenty of time to throw to first. Alvarado gets out of the inning, but not before a 2-run home run, his 5th of the year by Steven Moretto. And the Welland Jackfish take a 3-2 lead to the bottom of the 4th. canine friend here at Dominico Field as Jesse Hodges stands in. Fans of all kinds in the stands and on the hillside at Dominico Field. Hodges fouls one off. Made a great play at third base for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hodges will play primarily left field and pitch for Toronto, but today playing third base. And
Making sensational plays.
yeah, if you're just joining us, don't be fooled. This isn't like, Maple Leafs are shorthanded. Let's put in, some random person at third base. No, Jesse Hodges is a third baseman. Played for Team Canada at third base, played third base throughout the minors, and he's got a great arm. And takes strike three called. That was a ridiculous breaking ball from James Bradwell to get Hodges, and he heads back to the dugout. There's nothing you can do about that one.
5 strikeouts on the day so far for Bradwell. You heard the bat slam against the fence there. Hodges gets back to the dugout, and that he just has all of his stuff working today. And you got to tip your cap when you have to. And Bradwell, he's looked dominant.
So one away. And it's Aiden McCaskey who stands in. McCaskey takes way inside. Two balls on Aiden McCaskey. And that one's in there for a strike. Got the inside corner.
McCaskey's last time up grounded out to the shortstop.
And check swings. He might have gone around. No, says the third base umpire. It was close. But it looked like Aiden McCaskey held up. So the count's 3-1. James Bradwell, although being behind in the count now, has been really good at being in and around the strike zone today. Just one walk, 38 strikes, 21 balls on the afternoon. 3-1, inside ball 4, and Aiden McCaskey will draw the walk.
And that's what you need right now if you're the Maple Leafs. You just need base runners. Get guys on. Try to disrupt the timing of Bradwell, because that's what Jose Vinicio did so well just a couple innings ago. And the Maple Leafs were able to capitalize with some runs. So let's see if McCaskey can get it rolling here.
Dan Mara is at the plate. If the Welland Jackfish are trying to roll a ground ball, Dan Mara would be a candidate. Problem is that a lot of his ground balls are really sharply hit and find their way into the outfield. He's squaring to bunt, and he takes low. Was that a called strike? Or was that a call on a swing? Or
Couldn't really see.
I think that was low. I don't think the umpire called on a swing. I think Dan Mara was coming out of the batter's box just to get out of the way a bit rather than to push one down the line. And he hits one on the ground. This one's to short, to second for one, on to first, not in time. Dan Mara was hustling right out of the batter's box, and he beats it out. And he'll pass the baton over to Ryan Dos Santos. Dos Santos stands in hitting .269 on the season. Two weeks ago, Ryan Dos Santos hit his first home run of the season. The Maple Leafs could use a little bit of that power right here as he takes way inside 2-0.
And just before that, he hit that home run. We got a baseball up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah. And where's that baseball now?
Right now, if you're here at the park, you can get some raffle tickets for a chance to win a signed baseball. Game used ball.
2-0, it's hit to left, and it's down for a base hit. Dan Mara is making the turn. He's around third base and heading home. Here's a long throw to the plate. It's not in time. Dos Santos into third base as he has an RBI triple, and it's 3-3.
And that's a huge hit right there for Ryan Dos Santos. Scores that tying run, evens things back up here at 3 apiece. But he was having a little bit of a struggle. That game against Barrie, he said it himself to me. It wasn't his best game. He felt like he underperformed, and that's a huge hit right there for him and for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow, Ryan Dos Santos took a tough pitch and lined it in the perfect spot. They were playing him to pull pretty dramatically, and he hit that ball about 5 feet inside the line to left. And believe it or not, that's the first career triple for Ryan Dos Santos. Throw to first to get J.J. Dutton, and as I say that, they gave him a double. So he's never hit a triple in the Inter-County Baseball League. Ryan Dos Santos, though, won't care as he's tied the game up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 3-3. Top of the 5th inning. Welcome back to Dominico Field. Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. The Maple Leafs and Welland Jackfish tied 3-3 on a beautiful, sunny, but very hot afternoon here at Dominico Field. Matteo Porcelato is at the plate and checked his swing on a low pitch there from Johannes Alvarado. Alvarado has given up 4 hits through 4 innings and struck out 4 and allowed the 3 earned runs. All of them earned. And all of them coming via a home run by the Welland Jackfish. It was Gio Morello in the first inning who hit a solo shot in the second batter of the game, and then Steven Moretto hit a 2-run home run. That 2-run home run gave the Welland Jackfish a 3-2 lead. And then Ryan Dos Santos, just last inning, hitting a 2-out triple down the line and left to tie things up, or double, I guess, on the scorecard. I think that should have been a triple. Swing and a miss. Strike two.
And really, this is just kind of a fight of two titans, just throwing punch for punch at each other right now. Welland threw the first one. Toronto answered right on back. Then Welland answered back there, and Toronto again last inning enters and answers.
That ball's in the dirt for ball four, and that one just gave Justin Morrow another uppercut right on the bottom of the chin, knocked his helmet off. Bouncing off the dirt. Alvarado this year with a 1.48 ERA and 24 and a third innings pitched and 27 strikeouts coming in to this contest.
Again, he's had a phenomenal year, and ever since that first outing he had, he's built off of it, and he's become a new pitcher.
Throw down to second is in time to get him. A cannon from Justin Morrow for the first out.
And that's what we're so used to seeing from Justin Morrow back there behind the dish. It's like clockwork when you see him. Just a phenomenal job.
So this outing with Welland Alvarado's ERA being where it is, giving up 3 runs in an outing will probably raise that just a little bit as that pitch is in there for a strike. But assuming all goes well for him and the runs stay at a reasonable amount, as soon as he has enough innings to qualify on the leaderboard, Welland Alvarado will be first in ERA in the Intercounty Baseball League. But he's still got some good innings of work to go to get to that point. So that pitch is in the dirt to the backstop, so now it's 1-2.
And I'm not sure if you caught it. So on the bunt attempt right there by Gio Morello, he actually kind of, jolted back a little bit because the slider again from Welland Alvarado, just catching him quite off guard.
Two. Up high, full count. Mentioned an inning ago that the pitch count is starting to get up there for Alvarado, and it continues to climb. This will be pitch number 88.
I got a message at 11 p.m. Our game was
And the slider misses inside. A little bit of frustration on the mound there from Alvarado as he gives up the 1-out base runner.
And again, through the majority of the innings, we've seen he has really good control of that slider. And right there, I think 2 or 3 of the pitches he threw, that slider, again, it just kind of got away from him. It looks like he was trying to change the release point, so instead of it breaking horizontally, it would break vertically, and it got away. Some going behind Morello, and then some just kind of sneaking in, keeping him in on tight.
Jose Vinicio just came in to have a few words with Welland Alvarado. This one's hit pretty well to left. Aiden McCaskey back stumbles and then makes the catch right near the wall. That one just missed a home run. Martinez drove that one out to left.
And you can kind of see the flags, the wind blowing towards right field. So that ball got up there in that wind stream and kind of died a little bit. Thankfully, died just enough at the track where another 2-run shot didn't happen for Welland Alvarado.
Yeah, you can see that wind direction has now changed on the flags out there in center field. So this is James Smybert at the plate.
2
2 outs, runner on first. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw down, safe. Oh, it was close out there at second base. Justin Mara had a good throw, and that was inches away from being his second caught stealing of the inning.
You saw Jose Vinicio right there put the tag on, and he started taking a couple steps towards the dugout because he thought he got it down in time. Nonetheless, it's a stolen base right there for Gio Morella.
No, I think he did just get in there under the tag. Morello got a great jump, but the throw was perfect as well. 1-1, way inside. Justin Mara did a really good job to catch that ball as it nearly hit the batter.
And again, it looks like just that's the slider grip. He's not getting it far enough out in front of him. It's kind of staying close towards his body, and it's not biting in over the plate. It's staying tight in on the lefties.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go down, check him out, and then
2-1, just outside.
it was good seeing you yesterday too.
Happy birthday to all you guys, Dad.
How come you didn't go to the casino with him?
Well, he didn't tell me he blew me off. He just took off.
So 3-1 here to James Smybert. Alvarado steps off.
Get your ass down to Woodbine.
Yeah, rat him out to me.
I'll see you guys later.
See you guys.
This one's popped up. Jesse Hodges goes over towards the fence, and he'll watch it go out of play.
You saw down there, Al just almost got hit with that ball. Just put the hand over the head as protection.
Yeah, Al Ross down there is a legend here around Dominico Field. Does a fantastic job selling the raffle tickets, and Maple Leafs fans will know him well. 3-2. Inside, and it hit him. Alvarado has that slider slip out of the hand once again. And this is kind of an interesting situation here for Wilhennis Alvarado, as Rob Butler's going to come out of the dugout. The pitch count is now nearing 100. It's at 95 or 94. There's action in the Maple Leafs bullpen, but I don't think that Alvarado is ready to come out of this game just yet. But the interesting thing is that good pitch that he has is the breaking ball. He's having a little bit of trouble locating it, but the fastball's been hit for a couple home runs, and you can't really bank. You have to have confidence in throwing your fastball. It doesn't matter, it's just a pitch that you need to have, but it's not going to make you want to throw it more if they've hit a home run off it.
No, for sure. And, you know, that's probably what, you know, head coach Rob Butler went out there to say. Just saying, you know, get that slider down, get out in front of you. We know how good it is.
Popped up. Is this going to be in play for Jordan Castaldo? He's at the fence, and he leans over, but it's out of play.
And all that is, it's just a long and a high strike one.
So McCoy Pierce batting .358 coming into the game.
He walked in his first plate appearance, and he popped out to Jose Vinicio his last time up.
Yeah, you got to be careful with fastball location against the Welland Jackfish. Little chopper, Jesse Hodges charges, pumps, throws, not in time.
And you got to give credit right there to McCoy Pierce hustling out of the box and down that line. And again, the Welland Jackfish continue to threaten. Bases loaded.
Alvarado got the ground ball he needed to get out of the inning, but now he's going to have to battle through a little bit of adversity here with bases loaded and 2 outs. And I think Caleb Feuersteak is going to see some fastballs in this at-bat. First pitch. Fastball hammered to center field on a line, and it's right at Ryan Dos Santos. And that will end the inning. Well, Wilhennis Alvarado stays just under the 100 pitch mark through 5 innings, and he's pitched 5 really good innings for the Toronto Maple Leafs and giving them a great chance to win. It's 3-3 at Dominico Field. As we get a look there at the skate park here at Dominico Field. Lots of features.
Some sick moves over there.
Yeah, it was.
If I ever did that, I'd fall on my face.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but. Oh, here we go. Little trick. No. Okay. Put you there for a second. Yeah, that's more than I could do. I don't know if you heard, but in the latest episode of Leafs Weekly, we mic'd up Garrett Takamatsu. This one's popped up. Jose Vinicio is going to be retired for out number 1. But Garrett Takamatsu was talking about, hey, we need to sign someone who skateboards. And I just left it in because I thought it was just some random thing. He was talking about, McChickens and, how to properly shave your sideburns and stuff like that. There was a lot of really random stuff in it. But
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but he mentioned about we need to sign someone who skateboards, and I was like, why? Like, where did that come from? Why did you say that? He said, well, former Toronto Maple Leafs Marcus Connect, who was on the team the last couple seasons, apparently he's a pretty good skateboarder. So that's where that was coming from.
Yeah, I was a pretty good skateboarder on the Skate 2 video game. That was my jam.
Doesn't count, my man.
Ah.
0-2.
I think they had a mode where it was called the Hall of Meat.
The what?
The Hall of Meat.
Meat.
I think it's that was in Skate 3, not Skate 2. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. It was a phenomenal game. And if I highly suggest you ever have the chance to go back and buy an older console, play that game.
Yeah, sorry to anyone watching right now. I don't get what's going on. Justin Mara has nobody on and is now behind in the count 0-2 to James Bradwell. Bradwell has been mowing down Maple Leafs hitters without the one blemish of the home run by Justin Mara. And now he hits one sharply to first. Good play by McCoy Pierce, who gloves it just inside fair territory to get the second out.
Now batting first baseman number 5,
Jordan Castaldo and then Garrett Takamatsu if Castaldo can find his way on base. Jordan Castaldo's 0 for 1 with a walk. Takamatsu's 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Breaking ball in there for a strike. James Bradwell, although being a righty facing a lineup of lefties, is not afraid to backdoor that breaking ball.
And again, he's been just, borderline sensational today.
Castaldo pops it up. Where is it? And it's caught right in front of the fence by the catcher, Sam Cocker. Good play there. Another sparkling inning of work from James Bradwell. Gave up 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, but other than that, he's set down the Maple Leafs pretty well in order. So Welland Alvarado is getting deep into his pitch count, but he's back on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 97 pitches so far. Sam Cocker made a great play right up along the fence, and a lot of infielders and especially catchers will tell you one of those the hardest balls, well, mostly catchers, I guess. One of the hardest balls to catch is that ball that you have to go and that's straight up that you have to go get right behind you. And Sam Cocker didn't see it, then found it and teetered under it to make the catch right by the fence. And
I think the most important thing there with that catch is, as a catcher, you always have to have your back towards the infield, because, you know, if you're trying to catch a pop fly behind home plate like that, it is very difficult to do if your body is facing the field. You always got to be facing the fence. Makes it 10 times easier on you.
and you can see the fence too as it gets closer and closer to you.
Yeah. You're not running, you're not falling back into it.
Cocker just gets a piece of that Alvarado breaking ball. You'd have to imagine that there's fatigue has got to play a factor for Welland Alvarado at some point in this game, because he's throwing a lot of pitches and it hasn't been a starter all season long. On the ground to third, Hodges will play it in foul territory, and that was a smart play there by Jesse Hodges. He knew he wasn't going to have a chance to get the runner, so just made sure to let that ball roll as far as it could into foul territory.
Yeah, it's just a heads-up play down there at third base. You know, you saw Sam Cocker, he took off down the line. And then if Hodges did play that in the fair territory, it would have been a close play, probably would have resulted in a runner on, just with how the speed out of the box by Cocker.
Two and two. On the ground to shortstop, Jose Venicio. One out. Yeah, if you hit it to Jose Venicio at shortstop these days, it is pretty much a sure out. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it, how far to the left or right of him you hit it. He has been the definition of consistency and more at shortstop.
Yeah, he's like a vacuum over there.
Yeah.
At shortstop. And we saw it against the Barrie Bay Cats. He made the diving catch.
This one's fouled off. That didn't sound very good off the bat. Steven Moretto is at the plate. It sounded like he broke his bat on that foul ball. I guess we'll see. Pitch in the dirt. So the count's 1-1.
And Steve Moretto on the day, 1 for 2, but the one hit he has was the big fly back in the 4th inning. It was that 2-run home run. Put the Welland Jackfish out front.
No action in the Toronto Maple Leafs bullpen. But this is a different Maple Leafs bullpen that we saw at the beginning of the season. They've added a boatload of arms, and there's a lot of them that are still yet to give up their first run with the Maple Leafs this season. 2-1. This one's hammered down the left field line, but foul just past the Leafs pen. So 2 strikes now on Moretto. One of 3 players to hit a home run in this game. Toronto Maple Leafs got one from Justin Mara, and the Welland Jackfish have one from Morello and Moretto. Just missed with the breaking ball. It was low, so it's a full count. (3-2) hit hard, but quite foul down the left field line.
And it looks like that pitch right there, anyway, it looked like it was a slider that had that horizontal break. It kind of broke into the bat of Moretto. It was similar. He pulled it similar to how he pulled the fastball last inning for the home run.
Another 3-2 pitch. And it's fouled off.
I think that was the identical pitch to the last one.
Yeah. Pitch number 111 coming here for Alvarado. And it's in the dirt, ball 4.
Just a good at-bat right there by Moretto.
And unless someone's ready to go, this is Alvarado's inning to finish. There is no movement down there in the Maple Leafs bullpen. So 112 pitches deep, Welland Alvarado in the 6th. The pitch to Hogan Brown, and he took a ugly cut on the breaking ball.
Yeah, a little bit of an excuse me swing there. It looks like he was kind of revving up for the fastball. And Welland Alvarado comes back with that sweeping slider.
Oh, 1. Fastball, just missed.
Good location there.
One. Swing and a miss. Another breaking ball. That might be the recipe for success for Welland Alvarado to get out of this inning.
And he has another lefty on deck right now as well in Mateo Presalato. So hopefully, keep using this recipe of that breaking ball in the outside half and then throw that fastball in the other half too, because it looks farther and farther out.
1-2. Strike 3. Swing and a miss. Alvarado gets the second out of the inning.
And again, utilizing that great fastball on the outer half. Welland Alvarado has had a phenomenal day pitching.
Alvarado trying to strand the runner at first base. If he gets out of this inning, we would go tied into the bottom of the 6th. Maple Leafs and Welland Jackfish is one of the better matchups, I think, this season.
So far, this game has really just offered you everything you were expecting. Good power offense and then great pitching on both sides.
1-0 is in there for a strike. 2-0. Let me tell you, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Welland Jackfish, I think they're starting to develop a little bit of a rivalry with the playoff series last year, with the Welland Jackfish being a heavy favorite. They've played tight games this year. 2-0. On the ground, and that one's going to squeak through into the outfield. It's first and second, and the go-ahead run moves into scoring position for the Jackfish.
And it looks like he went back to that fastball right there, and he got 2 called strikes on fastballs on the outside corner. You think he'd go to the slider, make Porceletto reach out for it, but no, couldn't get him to go. So we'll go right here again. It's Gio Morella now up to the dish.
Already with a homer today. This one's hit on the ground. Short play to second. And Alvarado gets out of the inning, nearing the 120 pitch mark. And it's 3-3 between Toronto and Welland. Garrett Takamatsu steps to the plate against James Bradwell, and Bradwell's throwing a bunch of breaking balls to Garrett Takamatsu, and that seems to be the key to success. That was pitch number 78 from James Bradwell. It's been pretty efficient.
Yeah, been very, very consistent on the side of the Jackfish. 5 strikeouts on the day.
And that's inside, and it hit him. Well, Garrett Takamatsu, I think, was trying to stay in the box and get into one of those breaking balls, but as a result, he gets hit and brings Jesse Hodges to the plate with a runner on.
And we've seen Hodges have some power here. A couple weeks ago, took a ball that sailed over that left field wall.
A little bit of action now in the Welland Jackfish bullpen. Hodges swings and misses at a nasty breaking ball again from James Bradwell. One. Another breaking ball front door that time on Hodges, and that ball must look like it's going to hit you in the kneecap, and then it comes right in there for a strike. One. Hodges hangs in there on the breaking ball but fouls it off. Welland Jackfish have Adam Jeffine warming up in the bullpen. Hodges hanging tight. Adam Jeffine has started some games, actually started 6 of his 7 appearances, but he's a lefty, and the Maple Leafs have got a lot of lefties in the lineup, so his task might be to face the top of the order when that spot comes around. 1-2. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Jesse Hodges goes down looking.
And again, just another good pitch by Bradwell over that outside corner with that fastball. And again, his tempo all game long. There's only been a couple of times where it's gotten disturbed with a runner on. But right now, with Takamatsu at first, he still has that same tempo, and he's held strong. Big strikeout right there for his side.
Aiden McCaskey stands in, and he takes a breaking ball in the dirt. As a righty, James Bradwell does not look like a fun pitcher to hit against. Jesse Hodges really did all he could to just fight off those pitches, but when that breaking ball catches the inside corner like that, and then you paint a fastball over the outside corner, that's a lethal combination. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to hit.
1-0. Way inside. Aiden McCaskey had to bend out of the way. Adam Jeffine, last pitch against the Maple Leafs, on June 25th. He started that game, went 5 2/3, gave up 5 hits, just the one, or gave up 5 runs, but just the one earned. Pitch is well inside. And his stuff will play well against the lefties in the Maple Leafs lineup. He's had a good year too, 4.68 ERA. 27 strikeouts and 32 2/3 innings pitched. Aiden McCaskey in a 3-0 count. He's taking all the way, and it's low, ball 4. Good time for a single, and Maple Leafs are going to bring a singles machine to the plate. So after a brief meeting on the mound, Dan Mara stands in. He's got Ryan Dos Santos on deck, who has an RBI double this afternoon. Dan Mara is 0 for 2. Takes a strike.
And on the right side of that infield, Dan Mara has a lot of room to work with. Second baseman is holding on Takamatsu. So if he's able to shoot a single to right field, be big.
Which he does a lot. And if he gets a breaking ball over the outer half, that's probably where he'll go with it as well. That's interesting, though, that the second baseman is the one holding on the runner with the ready at the plate. I guess that actually makes a lot of sense. Now that I think of it. That's natural, actually.
The reverse psychology really got you there.
But with Dan Mara at the plate, you almost want to make the shortstop hold on the runner and close off that gap the other way. Mara loves to shoot the ball to right field. The 1-1. Mara takes a strike. Justin Mara hit a ground ball to shortstop in his last at-bat. He's got 2 strikes on him now. Here's the 1-2 pitch from James Bradwell. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Throw down to first base, not in time. Aiden McCaskey dives back in, but the Welland Jackfish get the second out of the inning.
A nice throw down there by the catcher, Sam Cocker. Almost had that trick play, but McCaskey, like you said, gets in there safely. And it looks like it's going to be a pitching change here for the side of Welland.
So we'll see if Adam Jeffine ends up coming into the game. The Maple Leafs have a couple of righties coming up to the plate. So Adam Jeffine coming to the game wouldn't make a whole lot of baseball sense, but I think that's what's going to happen. So Adam Jeffine will come into the game. Ryan Dos Santos and J.J. Dutton. Actually, Ryan Dos Santos, he's a lefty hitter, so that actually does make sense. So a logical pitching move here from the Welland Jackfish. As they go to the lefty, we'll be back after a quick break. So Adam Jaffine comes into the game for the Welland Jackfish, a 4.68 ERA. And in his intercounty baseball league career, he's appeared in 16 games. 13 of them have been starts. So this is maybe unfamiliar territory here from Adam Jaffine, coming in the 6th inning of a game. And he will be facing Ryan Dos Santos, who takes a pitch over the outside corner that he didn't like for strike one.
Looks like it was a slow breaking ball that caught that outside corner. Might be the same book that Alvarado has. You know, throw that fastball and then have that breaking ball that goes out farther.
Dos Santos takes outside 1-1. If Ryan Dos Santos can find his way on base, then it's a righty in J.J. Dutton, who's hit well this year. And then lefties at the top of the order. Pitch just misses outside. Good discipline there from Ryan Dos Santos. Dos Santos, a lot of the time, comes to the plate with the mentality of just trying to hit a single somewhere into the outfield. You'd think that that's no different right now. 2-1 from Jaffine. And it's a breaking ball way up and in. Ryan Dos Santos has worked himself into a hitter's count. Do you think he takes all the way, waiting for...
If he gets something over the middle of the plate, he has that mentality to swing.
Yeah.
But if he gets it off the plate, he did poke one down that left field line. He's not afraid to take it the other way.
See if he gets a fastball. He does, and it misses outside. Ball 4. Ryan Dos Santos works the walk, and that was a very good at-bat because now it brings one of the few righties in the lineup, J.J. Dutton, at the plate, and there's nowhere to put him. Bases are loaded for the Maple Leafs. J.J. Dutton coming in a massive situation here in the 6th. This could decide the outcome of this game. First pitch. Dutton takes up and away. 5 balls and 1 strike thrown here by the lefty Jaffine. Vanicio on deck. The 1-0. Way outside, ball 2. I mean, it's early in the outing, but if Jaffine's struggling with control here, you'd think that maybe J.J. Dutton takes until he gets a strike.
Yeah, you got to think if this count goes 3-0, Dutton has that red light.
Up and away, 3-0. Jaffine shakes out his hand after throwing that pitch. Bases are loaded. Nowhere to put J.J. Dutton. Adam Jaffine will have to find the strike zone. The tying run is on third base, or the go-ahead run on third, and it's in there for a strike.
Now, if I'm Dutton at the plate, I'm still not expanding. You're still in very much control of this at-bat. You have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. If it's on the outer half, I'd still be taken.
3-1. Outside, ball 4. Jaffine walks in a run, and the Maple Leafs take the lead.
And just a good poised at-bat right there by J.J. Dutton. He had that mentality, like I was saying, if it's on the outside half, just take it and let that run come in. Now the Leafs, they have that lead.
So Adam Jaffine comes into the game. It didn't look like he was particularly wild. He was around the plate, but just couldn't find the strike zone. And it was a pitching change that initially looked like it made a lot of sense with the lefty-lefty matchup. Ryan Dos Santos takes some close pitches, draws the walk, and then Adam Jaffine couldn't find the strike zone against J.J. Dutton. And the Maple Leafs have 4 runs on 4 hits, but that time they didn't need one to drive in the run. This with 2 outs as well. Now can Adam Jeffine limit the damage? Maple Leafs with one swing can open this one up. Benicio looking at bunting and then takes a strike. Likely just a decoy to try and get himself ahead in the count, but took the strike anyway. Mike Mueller getting loose in the bullpen for the Jackfish. Benicio pops it foul behind home plate. Yeah, he's getting loose in a hurry down there.
You've got to imagine he'd be coming in the next two batters.
Or next inning, we'll see. 0-2. In the dirt, and a good block by Sam Cocker. That ball bounced well in front of home plate. Aiden McCaskey would have been sprinting for the plate had that gone to the backstop.
And again, you said it earlier on in the game, Jose Benicio in another 2-strike count. Does a good job working these in his favor. He came out with a single last time and got the offense going for the Maple Leafs. Let's see what we can do here.
Benicio fouls it off. He'll just keep battling until he finds a pitch he likes. He's in tough in the lefty-lefty matchup. If Jeffine can get out of this, I think that the Welland Jackfish would like him to stay in the game and face the next three lefties that are coming up for the Maple Leafs. One, two. Swinging a little chopper out in front of home plate. Jeffine glove flips to home, and he got him. Composed play there by pitcher Adam Jeffine, who walks in a run but limits the damage in the end. The Toronto Maple Leafs now lead 4-3 in this seesaw battle here at Dominico Field. taking a look at the hillside at Christie Pitts, one of the steeper hillsides here at Dominica Field. New pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Julian Timochko. He comes into the game and facing his former team in the Welland Jackfish, and his first pitch is upstairs. Timochko has had a bit of a slow start to his season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. His ERA is very inflated, but has only pitched in 3 games and got through an inning in 2/3. The problem for Timochko hasn't been that he's been getting hit around, it's just been walks. 8 walks in 1 2/3 innings as he finds the strike zone there, 2-1.
And you can hear him from up here. Throws the ball and has that grunt every time. Gives his all into every pitch. You can hear it.
This one's lined out towards center field. It's dropping. Dos Santos dives, and he can't make the catch, but he will keep the ball in front of him. And it'll be just a single on a ball that actually wasn't hit particularly hard to center field, and it was a valiant effort from Ryan Dos Santos.
Looked like it just kept dying and dying with this wind.
Yep, it's knocking it down. So Carlos Martinez is now 1 for 4. James Smybert comes to the plate. This is not an easy task here for Julian Timochko. And you might look at the numbers for Timochko and see the inflated ERA, and you might dismiss this guy, but I don't think that's the right thing to do, because this is a guy that Jeff Lounsbury was actually pretty excited to have on the team. And, you know, while there's maybe still a little bit of development and the command might, you know, have a bit of room for improvement for Julian Timochko, he's a guy who throws hard. He has good stuff. And GM Jeff Lounsbury was excited to have this guy not only for this year, but also for the future, if he can, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Timochko finds the strike zone for a strike. And I think this is a good test here for Timochko, because a lot of the times he's come into the game in situations that aren't very impactful. Well, this is about as high leverage as you can get. 1-run lead, top of the 7th inning. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, and get some good ground under your feet.
Line drive, snared at first. Throwing a second for 1, back to first, not in time. Jordan Castaldo wasn't sure whether the umpire would call a catch or not, so he hesitated throwing down to second base. But in the end, good composure to get the lead runner, and an even better play to snare that ball.
Yeah, great heads-up play, and really Castaldo has just been such a sound defender over there at first base. We see him with all the picks that he's had on the year, making some really good plays, but that one right there, you know, saving extra bases for sure.
In terms of overall defense, I don't think I would be wrong in saying that it's Jose Vinicio and then Jordan Castaldo.
Yeah, it would. Well, I would probably agree with you. I think John Salazzo can make a strong case over there at third.
Yeah, and Dan Mara is as steady as anyone at second base. And I think J.J. Dutton's in that conversation too in the outfield this year. Ryan Dos Santos, sometimes I don't think you notice as that ball got to the dirt. By the way, runner advancing 90 feet with 1 out. Ryan Dos Santos is, I think, a guy that you don't notice that he's a good defender out there because he's so fast. And a lot of the time he doesn't have to make the diving play because he just gets there in time.
Has a lot of speed.
Pitch way up and in from Timochko. Might have slipped out of his hand. Now it's 2-1. McCoy Pierce is the batter. He's 1 for 2 and he's walked this game. McCoy Pierce is hitting .362 on the season, but a lot of that batting average has been inflated over the last couple weeks.
Good pitch right there on the outside half by Timochko. Just try to get the strikeout here would be huge. Have 2 outs and keep that runner at second base.
With the hit, McCoy Pierce has extended his hit streak to 6 games for the Jackfish. 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, says anybody. No one asked either. The pitch was up and away, and that's ball 4. So the double play is back in order for Timochko. Jesse Hodges is going to come in from third base, and he's going to talk to the young Julian Timochko. Gives him a pat, some words of encouragement. Jesse Hodges would know because he's a pitcher now.
What were the words he used again when you had the chance to talk to him?
Yeah, he said, I throw hard, got a decent curveball, and he can bring it. On the ground.
I think those are the words he just told Timochko.
Yeah, hey, throw hard.
You got a good curve?
You got a good curve.
Just bring it.
Yeah, at this point, all you got to do is bring it.
Just bring it.
That's Chris Nagorski warming up there in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. Biersteak looking to bunt, but pulls the bat back and takes low. Jackfish are playing for a run here, trying to tie the game. Julian Timochko trying to hold them right here. 0-1. Just missed inside. You could tell that Timochko thought he might have caught the inside corner. And now he just misses outside. Some frustration on the mound now from Timochko.
And he's bringing it with his pitches, and the command, it hasn't been bad. It's just, just missing those corners right now.
Inside ball 4. The bases are now loaded for the Welland Jackfish. They find themselves in a similar position that the Maple Leafs had last inning. And that's going to bring Rob Butler to the mound, and he might make a pitching change for Chris Nagorski. Yeah, he's made the call already. So, flashes the left hand, signaling for the lefty, Chris Nagorski. He enters in a massive spot. Bases loaded, 1 out. We'll be right back. Massive spot here for Chris Nagorski. He'll face Sam Cocker. Bases loaded with 1 out. The first pitch is big, swing and a miss, strike 1.
And Nagorski, he's not shy to moments like this. Had a lot of them with the Barrie Bay Cats. Now with the Maple Leafs.
This one's hit in the air to center field. Might be deep enough to get the run. Ryan Dos Santos makes the catch. Throw comes into third. The run will score. And it's a tie ball game at Dominico Field, 4-4. Good piece of hitting there from Sam Cocker. Did exactly what he needed to do. Elevated the ball into center field, and he cashes in 1 run. Now the job for Chris Nagorski, keep it right here. Maple Leafs probably don't mind giving up that 1 run too much. They know that they've got a good offense, and with bases loaded, 1 out, I don't think you can ask for much. Here's a ball lined into the outfield. J.J. Dutton coming over, and he makes the catch. Job well done from Chris Nagorski. He comes into the game and gets a couple of outs, and we're tied at Dominico Field. How about a little catch with your dad on Sunday afternoon here at Dominico Field? Maybe a future Toronto Maple Leaf one day. Who knows? Justin Mara at the plate and takes in the dirt. Adam Jaffine is back in the game for the Welland Jackfish, which his leash will probably be as long as the Maple Leafs keep throwing lefties up the plate. And let me tell you, it's a pretty long leash. Mara takes a strike.
And still warming up over there in the Jackfish's bullpen.
They have fins.
They have fins. They do have fins, but the Jackfish is Mike Mueller, number 35. He's still over there, getting warm.
Do you know what a jackfish is?
See, I don't.
Are you a fisherman?
I'm not, but see, I work at a place where there's another fish, a steelhead.
Yeah, that's
So,
a trout.
There's a lot of fish that I don't know.
Yeah, so a steelhead, yeah, that's another name for a rainbow trout. So that pitch is in there for a strike. Jackfish is a northern pike.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I mean, your logo is a pike, so it's got to be.
Has to be.
Unless it's a muskie, but I really don't think it's a muskie. Anyway, I do a bit of fishing.
I was say the fishermen in chat will help us out there.
Yeah.
Figure out any of the mistakes.
Oh, it's Googled. Yeah, it's a northern pike, right? Yeah.
Shout out Google.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Well, northern pike are one of the harder biting fish. That breaking ball had a lot of bite there from Adam Jeffy.
See what you did there. That was a good one.
So, you see, here's just a tip. I know if you're a jackfish fan, you'll know this because you're fish experts, but when you see people take pictures with fish, right, they always hold the fish by the mouth. You do not do that with a pike.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have this row of teeth that are like barbed inwards. They have this row of teeth that are barbed inwards on their mouth. If you put your thumb in there, you're never getting it back.
Ooh.
Yeah, so don't. You gotta hold them by the belly. Don't hold them.
This is good to know. If
or you can hold them by the gills too, but I think belly makes for a better picture. Pitches in the dirt there to Jordan Castaldo, so it's 2-0.
Yeah, this is very good to know if I ever do go fishing.
Yeah, pike's. I mean, it's a pretty common fish. You might catch one. Don't put your finger in its mouth, though.
I will.
Okay. 2-0 is up and away. 3-0.
When I take the picture and I comment it, I'll be like, the great Thomas West advised me not to do this.
Yeah. No, like, I'm serious. If you put your hand in there and it bites down, like...
Oh, you're done.
I don't know how you'd get your hand out. I really don't. 3-0. Actually, now that I think of it, at the Welland Jackfish games, they have the... What do you call it? The animals that are, like... When you take an animal and you make it into...
Balloon animal?
No. It's like a real animal, but it's like preserved. Taxidermy. Taxidermy.
I was
They have the taxidermy pike. So you've seen the mouth of that fish. Pitches outside. Oh, I guess that was ball 3. They're Jordan Castell. That was a called strike on the first pitch, and now it's 3-2. And it's fouled straight back. Now it's definitely 3-2.
We got caught up in the fish talk
you
there
can
on the
see
first
where
pitch.
this came from. Yeah.
The little confusion that we had.
Okay. Full count here on Jordan Castaldo. The righty Garrett Takamatsu is on deck. He'll be happy to see a breaking ball coming from the other arm slot this afternoon. Castaldo fouls it back. The reason I'll say that about Garrett Takamatsu is that he struck out twice and got hit by a breaking ball. So he's done with the front hit breaking balls for this afternoon.
Yeah, he'd be very happy to not have to face one on the right-hand side.
3-2, Castaldo battling in this at-bat. Jeffine's pitch is upstairs, ball 4. That's about as hard-earned walk as you will ever see. Jordan Castaldo heads down to first base.
Well, it's nothing out of the ordinary right there for Castaldo, something that he does so well, and he's been doing well all year long.
And I might have to eat my words on Garrett Takamatsu not seeing a righty breaking ball coming in, because I think, is that Mike Mueller coming to the bullpen?
Yep, that is Mike Mueller coming in to pitch.
Well, we'll have more on that when we come back. Quick break here at Dominico Field. So with the righty Garrett Takamatsu and then the righty Jesse Hodges coming to the plate, the move to the bullpen is made by the Welland Jackfish. Mike Mueller is into the game. Mueller with a 4.15 ERA and 17 and a third innings pitched. Averages about a strikeout per inning. Takamatsu fouls it off. It's high in the air and fouled down the right field line. Maple Leafs could use a little bit of that Garrett Takamatsu power in this situation. One out, runner on first base. Breaking ball, catches the outside corner.
And his last at bat, he got hit by the pitch, but he did come around and he scored. He is the go-ahead run at the time, and then the Welland Jackfish tying things up at 4-piece. But like you said, that Takamatsu power that we're so fond of seeing.
This one's gonna get out of the play down the right field line once again. 1-2 the count. Mike Mueller trying to get Takamatsu. He's got Hodges on deck. He's a step off. Swing and a miss. Strike three. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Garrett Takamatsu.
And just been a tough game overall at the plate. Thought for a second he was going to see the lefty, but it's another good right-hander with a good breaking ball.
So can Jesse Hodges extend the inning. Swing and a miss. Aiden McCaskey waits on deck. Evan Elliott warming up in the Maple Leafs bullpen. This one's hit to center field. Pretty deep at the wall, and the catch is made by Gio Morello. That wind not helping that fly ball at all from Jesse Hodges as he got into one to center field. It remains tied 4-4 here at Dominico Field. The Welland Jackfish with 4 runs on 7 hits. The Maple Leafs have been efficient with 4 runs on 4 hits. Toronto Maple Leafs have been loving what they've been seeing from Evan Elliott on the mound. He comes into the game. Guy who throws really hard, and he's got a good breaking ball to complement that fastball.
And he's had a very good start to his IBL career here with the Leafs. Just doing phenomenal out of the bullpen for them. And quickly becoming a guy that they can trust.
3 innings, no runs, 4 strikeouts for Evan Elliott. And he's walked just 1 as well, giving up 1 hit. Elliott delivers outside 3-0. Right down the middle, 3-1. He has 9-1-2. Hogan Brown, Porcelato, and then Gianfranco Morello. Swinging a foul tip at the plate. Evan Elliott works himself right back in the count. Evan Elliott, a draft pick of the Texas Rangers. Played rookie ball in their system for a couple of years. Here's the full count pitch. And it's popped foul to the left.
Again, kind of just like the Barrie matchup, we've been treated to really good pitching from both sides. Johannes Alvarado went 6 strong for the Maple Leafs. On the other side, you had James Bradwell, who just pitched immaculate, it felt like, for the side of Welland.
So that one missed for ball 4. Hogan Brown will head down to first base, and now Evan Elliott has got himself into the challenge of a runner on base and the top of the order coming up. The breaking ball is key for Evan Elliott to complement that fastball, because as here's one bunted right out in front of home plate, snared in foul territory by Justin Mara. If he can get the hitters sitting on the breaking ball just a little bit, which should never really be your approach at the plate as a hitter, but if he can get them thinking something soft, that fastball that's probably mid-90s is going to look a whole lot faster. We'll likely see a lot of late swings. Bunting again. He gets it down. Evan Elliott fields it. He goes to first to get the out. Job well done by the leadoff hitter, Mateo Porcelato, as he moves the winning run or go-ahead run. Kind of feels like the winning run with a game that's as tight as it is. And as I speak, Davey Mendez starts to walk towards the mound.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We know how good Davey Mendez is. And, you know, Maple Leafs definitely going to want to try to hold it here. Evan Elliott doing well so far.
Pitch a strike to Porcelato. Davey Mendez has not given up a run this season, and he's pitched a lot. He's pretty much a sure thing in the 9th for the Jackfish. Makes that runner at second base even more important.
Strikeout right here for Elliott would be huge.
Lined into the outfield, it gets down. The runner had to hold to make sure it didn't get caught, so it's first and third with 1 out. And there was a lot happening on that pitch. The runner at second base in Hogan Brown had started breaking towards third. Someone on the infield had yelled, "Step off."
Yeah, that was Vinicio.
Vinicio yelled it, and then Evan Elliott decided he was just going to go to the plate. When Vinicio yelled "step off," Hogan Brown went back to second. And then the line drive, where Jose Vinicio was going to second to catch the ball, went into the vacated position that Jose Vinicio would have been. When it's all said and done, since the runner was going back to the bag, only able to advance 90 feet on the single. So Carlos Martinez comes to the plate. Right guy at the plate for the Welland Jackfish. Strike. Martinez is 1 for 4.
Ball on the ground here would be huge for Elliott.
Oh, 1. Runner goes. Throw. No throw. Justin Mara wanted to make sure that runner at third base didn't end up coming home, but now the double play is not in order.
And you'll see the infield will creep on in, play corners for sure, and you see Dan Mara as well. Venicio's playing a little bit back, but we know he has a good arm.
This one's lined, but foul to right field. The Toronto Maple Leafs will likely have the bottom of the 8th to try and get some offensive production, and then that task is going to get a whole lot tougher when Davey Mendez comes in the 9th.
And something to also mention that the Welland Jackfish coming into today's game, they're another hot team. Again, we've talked about how the Leafs keep running into these hot teams. The Welland Jackfish have won 5 games in a row.
Line caught by Jesse Hodges. He tags third base to get the double play. Have a day defensively, Jesse Hodges. What a catch to get the Maple Leafs out of a jam. We remain tied at 4. Oh, what a play by Jesse Hodges to get the Maple Leafs out of the top of the 8th inning. The Welland Jackfish had runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Jesse Hodges dove, made a catch, and then slapped the base with his hand to get the double play. McCaskey checks his swing. The count's 1-1. Jesse Hodges has had an unbelievable game at third base today. He has changed this game with his defense. McCaskey hits it to first, and an easy play at first base for McCoy Pierce.
And you're talking about it, Jesse Hodges. I mean, we've seen some fantastic defensive plays. We saw it last time out on Wednesday. Barry Baycats, Jose Venicio makes a stellar diving catch. John Salazzo makes a good pick, and another good pick by Jordan Castaldo at first. And now Jesse Hodges. There's a lot of good defense happening here at Christie Pitts.
If Jesse Hodges didn't make that play, the Welland Jackfish are leading 6-4 with Davey Mendez looming. And now, once again, we find ourselves in a tie game late at Dominico Field. We went to 12 innings against the Barrie Baycats in the Maple Leafs' last game and the last home game here at Dominico Field.
Just good baseball being played these last two games.
This one's hit on one hop to short. Dan Mara retired as the sure-handed James Smybert makes the play. The Welland Jackfish will be happy to know that the Barrie Baycats have been defeated by the Hamilton Cardinals 8-1. So the Jackfish will, for the moment, remain 2.5 games up on first place. And if they win today, it would move 3 games up on the Barrie Baycats. Ryan Dos Santos pops one down the line, but that one's going to hook into foul territory and out of play. The Jackfish also have a 5-game win streak on the line.
The best away record is held by the Welland Jackfish, 9-2. And if Toronto was able to win this game, they would tie Welland for the best home record at 10-4. Excuse me, they'd be one better because Welland would go to 10-5.
Boy, that would hurt. Pitch is a strike. No, it's interesting to take a look at these stats from a broadcast perspective, especially in the dog days of the IBL season. Kind of run that middle mark where who knows who's going to come second, third, and fourth in the Intercounty Baseball League, even fifth.
It's been very interesting to see us.
Ryan Dos Santos gets into one on the left field line again and just out of play.
And the fact that to this point, Welland, they've only lost 2 games on the road.
Yeah.
That's the impressive stat for me when I look at it.
The Jackfish had a 13-game win streak earlier this season. Every time Dos Santos fouls one off, J.J. Dutton goes all the way into the batter's box and picks up the bat for Ryan Dos Santos. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Mike Mueller gets through the 8th. So, the Toronto Maple Leafs will try and shut things down. They hand the ball once again to Evan Elliott for the 9th. 4-4 here at Dominico Field. Well, Evan Elliott, you will have to get 3 more outs to keep the Welland Jackfish at bay and keep this game tied here in the top of the 9th. This will be the first time that Evan Elliott has been tasked with going more than 1 inning. And he's not here just to get James Smybert, who's at the plate. Maple Leafs need him to finish this inning. 1-1, way inside, and it goes to the backstop. Two and 1. Listen, it wasn't pretty for Evan Elliott in the 8th. He got a little bit of help from his defense at third base and Jesse Hodges, but he did get through a scoreless inning. Now it's 3-1 here against James Smybert.
And also, it's kind of bigger stages as well, because if Toronto wins this, they'll move half a game back of the Hamilton Cardinals, who you mentioned earlier. They did win their game against the Barrie Bay Cats.
That pitch is outside to Smybert, ball 4. McCoy Pierce, one of the hotter hitters in the Intercounty Baseball League right now, comes to the plate. He's squaring to bunt, and the pitch was, I couldn't tell if it was a strike or a ball.
I believe he got it back in time.
Yeah, they gave it ball 1. So 1-0. Bunting again. That pitch is inside.
They said called foul.
Oh.
I think I saw the ump's hands both go up at the same time, so I'm assuming it was called a foul ball.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's 1-1. Bunting again. And
again, I think 1 and 2.
that was where I didn't see the strike call, did you?
I thought it was fouled when he went hands up.
Oh, okay.
That's the only indicator I had. I could be wrong.
This is a brutal at-bat for commentators. Little chopper back to the mound, to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Good play by Evan Elliott to field that chopper and get the lead runner. 1 out. Gets by a dangerous hitter in McCoy Pierce. Now Caleb Feuerstake from Waterloo, Ontario comes to the plate. He's no easier. .423 batting average in a short 24 at-bats in the IBL this season. Sorry, I meant to say Waterdown, Ontario, not Lou, down.
Similar names in some cities in Ontario.
Big place.
Huge.
Yep. One. Evan Elliott. 2 outs away. Pitch outside. And Davey Mendez looks like he's ready to go in the bullpen for the Jackfish. Sam Cocker on deck. Evan Elliott, a strike, 2-2.
Elliott doing a good job right here, working fast and evening up the count. Again, I said it last inning, he's been sensational since coming to the Maple Leafs.
Misses inside, counts full. Well, Elliott hasn't been a strike-throwing machine coming on the mound in this outing. 17 strikes, 14 balls, but he's found the strike zone when he needed to, and he does there as it's fouled off.
So I was going to mention McCoy Pierce over there at first. He wasn't running that time, but tie game with, he has good speed, decent speed at first.
Yeah.
Full count. Do you think he tests that and takes off for second?
Maybe. It wouldn't be a straight steal, that's for sure. Just 1 stolen base on the season. Not going. Chopper to first. Castaldo, he's just going to run to first and gets bowled over at first base. But he does make the out. and I think the first base coach there might have taken the brunt of Jordan Castaldo, and I think everyone's okay. That's lucky that everyone was okay after that. Oh, and I think a cleat might have went up and caught him in the face.
When Castaldo went down, his foot went up, and like you said, the cleat, I think, hit him.
Oh.
Scary times there.
Jordan Castaldo thought he had lots of time to go and get that out of first base. Then he had to kick it in high gear, and his momentum and determination to get that out meant that there was no stopping once he got to first base. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's always scary when the metal cleat gets up there.
That was a heck of a collision. Castaldo went to first base to get the sure out, but nothing was sure about that play at all. It would have been a close play at second, and then it was a close play at first as well. So everyone's okay. The result is a runner on second base. That's the go-ahead run, and 2 outs. Evan Elliott will be zeroed in on the batter here, Sam Cocker. Down the line, foul towards first. It's 1-1. Plays like that from Jordan Castaldo show you that things are starting to get a little more meaningful as the season goes on. Jordan Castaldo just put his body on the line there at first base. He was getting that out one way or the other.
And it's a big game, especially against Welland.
Fouled off, 1-2. Evan Elliott, a big 1 strike away.
You know, some of the games this year haven't gone the way of the Maple Leafs, and when you go around the clubhouse and talk to some of the players, the players have the aspirations to go all the way. They think this is the team that can do it.
And there's some players with expiring IBL careers as well. Jordan Castaldo is one of them. 1-2. This has got to be a slider here from Evan Elliott. And it's weakly hit on the ground. Castaldo fields it. Evan Elliott gets over it, makes the play at first base, and the inning is over. Well, the Maple Leafs will have a tall task in the bottom of the 9th. Davey Mendez comes into the game, but they do have a chance to walk it off here at Dominico Field. Here's J.J. Dutton. He'll face Davey Mendez, who's had good numbers this year. More than good numbers, perfect numbers to be exact. J.J. Dutton, the righty, and then a bunch of lefties coming up against the right-handed pitcher, Davey Mendez. One-oh. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, you look in the year, you want to talk about pitching perfection, then look no other than Davey Mendez. He's been just the staple point and the concrete over there, holding the Jackfish's bullpen together.
29 strikeouts in 17 innings this year. There's a strike, 1 and 2. And he's walked 1. One, two, fouled off.
He has a wicked fastball, but that slider is a wipeout one that he can place on any sides of the plate.
Davey Mendez has 8 saves this year for the Welland Jackfish. One, two. J.J. Dutton hits it hard on the ground. Play is made to first in time. Mateo Porcelado fielding that one perfectly over there at second. Good matchup here. Strikeout pitcher versus contact hitter, Jose Vinicio. Davey Mendez throws a lot of strikes. Jose Vinicio likes to swing the bat.
And if Mendez gets ahead, expect Vinicio just to keep fighting up there like he does so well.
Big swing and a miss, strike 1. I wonder what was on the mind of Jose Vinicio on that swing. If it weren't for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Davey Mendez would have never given up a home run in his Intercounty Baseball League career. His only runs, back-to-back homers, Marcus Connect and Jordan Castaldo. That's it.
And who's looming in the hole for the Maple Leafs? None other
Jordan
than
Castaldo.
Jordan Castaldo.
If it gets that far. 1-1. Vinicio pops it towards third, but that one's out of play. Should we make it to the 10th inning, it looks like Julian Jr. Valdez would come into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And remember that the phantom runner at second base is in play in the Intercounty Baseball League, so both the Maple Leafs and Welland Jackfish will get that runner in scoring position to start things out. 1-2. Vinicio hits one in the air to center field. That one hangs up in medium depth center field for Gianfranco Morello for the second out. And this will give Justin Mara pretty much free reign to swing for the fences if he has a pitch that he likes. Nobody on, 2 out. And he already has a home run today. And just by the way, that home run by Justin Mara now puts him tied for 4th in the Intercounty Baseball League in the home run race. As that pitch is upstairs. There's a 3-way tie for first between John Salazzo, Liam Wilson, and Tyler Duncan of the Hamilton Cardinals. One-0. Up and away. 2-0.
And you got to remember, the man that got the scoring all started for the Maple Leafs is Justin Mara. He went the other way for that 2-run home run earlier on in the game. You know how good and poised of a hitter he is. He's not going to go outside of the zone swinging. Very controlled with the bat.
Big swing and a miss on a high fastball. 1-2. Jordan Castaldo, you know, would love to get an at-bat in this situation. Breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner. Came in slowly and hooked over the plate. Two. And it's hit on the ground to first, but it's going to bounce foul.
Just staying alive, and that's all you can do.
If anything, the Maple Leafs would love to up the pitch count here of Davy Mendez. He has 14 pitches so far, and I'd assume that he would come out for extra innings if he can get out of this.
Yeah, nobody in the Jack Fish bullpen is up. They're all relaxing.
2-2. This one's crushed towards center field, and it bounces off the wall. Justin Mara hustling around first base, and he's got a double. And oh, if Justin Mara had just got under that a little bit, that could have won the ball game. Now, Jordan Castaldo will come to the plate with a chance to walk it off with a single and definitely with an extra base hit.
And you said it, you know, he's going up to the plate, has free range to just swing, and that's what he does. His home run went to left field. That one right there, left center. You know, if you think, if that tailed a little bit more to left field, that's off the wall, maybe hitting the top of the wall. But nonetheless, a great piece of hitting right there by the Maple Leaf backstop.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting. He didn't sell out to try and pull the ball. He just found a pitch he liked. It happened to be over the outside corner, so that's the way he took it. Jordan Castaldo and Garrett Takamatsu looming. Castaldo first. The Maple Leafs will almost certainly send the runner if Castaldo hits a single.
He made a great play at first base just a couple innings ago.
Castaldo takes over the inside corner, and he did not like that one as it went just by the knees of Castaldo.
Anything that hits that outfield grass, like you said, Justin Mara will be on his horse trying to score from two.
Oh and 1. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Castaldo might have been guessing fastball.
That's a great pitch mix right there by Mendez. You come in hard with the fastball in on the hands, and then you completely freeze them with that slow breaking ball.
Now Jordan Castaldo's going to have to battle. He's behind 0-2. And there's strike three called over the inside corner. Castaldo throws down the bat and the helmet. And the Maple Leafs will have to wait another inning, but they'll get the same opportunity with the runner on second base. But first, the Welland Jackfish come up at the top of the 10th. Oh, for the second game in a row here at Dominico Field, we're going to get extra innings. Some free baseball here in the top of the 10th. Not that the baseball's ever not free. Dominico Field, as that pitch is low. The only team in the Intercounty Baseball League with free admission.
Do it for the fans. Do it for the fans.
Yeah. So 1-0, Julian Junior Valdez into the game. Slow start to the year, but he's had 2 consecutive really good outings for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Scoring to bunt and swinging at the bunt, says the home plate umpire, as he points to the batter, Steven Moretto, to call the swing. Hogan Brown on deck.
And, you mentioned it, Valdez, that rocky start, started off the season coming out of the starting rotation. Now, towards that back end of the bullpen, it looks like he's found himself a role that he really enjoys, and it suits him very well.
1-0, that one's low. 2-1. Steven Moretto is 1 for 3 with a homer and a couple RBIs. Julian Valdez has the same task he had against Barrie, coming in extra innings and trying to shut things down. Bunt is down. Valdez fields it, thinks about third, and in doing so, he drops the ball. First and third with nobody out, and there was never going to be a play over there at third base.
Yeah, you got to think when it's bunted like that, just take the surefire out at first base. Valdez trying to do a little bit too much. Took his eye off the ball for a split second, and it just pops out of his glove. Now a dangerous situation with runners on the corner.
Getting the runner at third base there, in theory, would have been fantastic. Now, the Maple Leafs are in a little bit more trouble. That runner on third base looks very poised to score. It's about the runner on first at this point. Nobody outs. First and third. Hogan Brown at the plate. Brown squaring to bunt. He gets it down, but fouls it off.
Yeah, if that's the case, at third, Jesse Hodges already knowing, play on the edge of the grass. Honestly, maybe play a little bit farther in if he's going to put that bunt down. With less than 2 strikes. That Cocker is going to be taken off there from third base.
Hogan Brown already looks like he's about to square around to bunt. His hands are really low. He's not, though. Brings them back and hits one up the middle. They're coming home. The play at the plate. Justin Mara picks it and puts the tag down. Oh, that was a heck of a play by Justin Mara on the low throw from his brother Dan.
The Mara connection right there on the infield. They do it once again. This time it's Dan Mara going to Justin, the other way around.
So it remains 4-4, and if that play wasn't made, that might have ended the ball game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It would have been the run in. Who knows where the runners at first and second would end up being with nobody out. That was a gutsy play right there from Dan and Justin Mara. And there's a strike. Counts 1-0. A 1 is a strike. Mateo Porcelato against Julian Junior Valdez. Pitch is outside.
Porcelato on the day, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and he got a sac bunt and 1 hit. He's done a little bit of everything so far at the dish.
Looking for a base hit in the top of the 10th. It's low. although there have been some base runners, and Valdez is early into his outing. He looks like a different pitcher here for the Maple Leafs. 2-2 pitch. And it's hit to center field. This is going to be a tough play. Ryan Dos Santos comes in, he can't make the catch, but the runners had to hold anyway. So it's bases loaded now. The run still hasn't come in to score. There's a force out at home plate. Now what will the Maple Leafs do here? Will they try and get the runner at home? Or will they look to get the double play? Gio Morello's the batter, and he is not going to be easy to double up should he hit a ground ball.
You'd have to think corners play in and then middle infield sit there for the double play, but we are going to have a pinch runner as well at third base. And looks like it's going to be Ethan Hunt, number 9. Oh, looks like the entire infield's going to play in.
Yeah, I think the Maple Leafs know that they're going to have a tough time turning a double play against Morello. Morello crushes one to left field, and it's foul.
Had the distance.
But it was pretty well foul down the line. Good contact. Can Julian Valdez work some magic and get out of this? Bases loaded, 1 out. This one's fouled back. He's got 2 strikes. A strikeout would change a whole lot of positioning on the infield.
It's a very big pitch coming up here if Valdez is able to locate.
Jesse Hodges is playing pretty far back at third base, but he probably has the best arm on the infield. Definitely has the best arm on the infield. 0-1. Hit to Hodges, and he dives, and it gets by him into the outfield. 1 run comes in to score, and they're going to hold the runner at third base. So the Welland Jackfish go station to station, but they find themselves in a really good position with Carlos Martinez coming to the plate.
And Gio Morello has had himself a great game. Homered in the first, walked twice, singled, and now he reaches and gives them the go-ahead run. He's reached base every time he stepped up to the plate. I believe he's been on base 6 times now.
So now with Carlos Martinez at the plate, the corners will play in and the middle will play back. Looking for the turn, the double play second to first. Pitch is a strike. So the Jackfish have scored their phantom runner. The Maple Leafs will be tasked with doing that, but how much more? That's the question. 1 out, bases loaded again. Here's the 0-1. And it's inside, so that runner that scored is not the responsibility of Julian Jr. Valdez. In the dirt, blocked by Mara. He just saved the Maple Leafs a run momentarily. Toronto Maple Leafs are in some hot water here in the 10th. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Valdez. And it's hit in the air. This will be deep enough to cash in a run. Catch is made. The throw is way offline. It goes to the backstop. It's bouncing around, and it'll just be the 1 run that comes in to score. So it's 6-4 now, and the Maple Leafs will have to score one of their own runners to tie this thing up in the 10th.
Again, it's just good piece of hitting out of this Welland Jackfish squad. Coming up clutch when they need them. Gio Morello gets that hard hit single, and then now Carlos Martinez, that sacrifice fly to cash in more insurance.
Pitch is outside there from Valdez. And still with no action in the Jackfish bullpen, you'd think that Davey Mendez will come out for a second inning of work. 1-0. That one's in there for a strike. One to James Smybert. And he swings and misses. Another sharp breaking ball from Valdez. Mendez has pitched more than one inning on 3 occasions this season. 1-2. A little tapper, tough play. Coming in is Jesse Hodges, and he can't make it. The Jackfish will get another run, throw to third, and it pops into the glove of Valdez and rolls down the line, and everyone will stay where they are. It's still not in a glove, and now there's a conversation around third base. So the Jackfish have opened up a 3-run lead, and they've done it by playing a bit of small ball. That one will go as an infield single. Justin Mara going out to give Valdez a pat on the back, as he's really pitched quite well in this appearance, but he's got a little bit of tough luck.
Yeah, really the only hard contact that he's given up has been to Gio Morella. Everything else has just been soft contact that, you know, the batters have been able to run out. And credit to the Jackfish, they've been able to capitalize on it all.
McCoy Pierce at the plate. There's action now in the Welland Jackfish bullpen. I don't know if more runs might change Welland's decision for who they bring onto the mound in the 10th. 0-1. Swing and a foul tip into the glove. It's 0-2. Valdez continuing to work ahead of batters here in this outing. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Welland Jackfish score the run they were supposed to score and more. Now they lead 7-4 over the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have a lot of work to do facing Davey Mendez in the bottom of the 10th. So Davey Mendez back on the mound for a second inning of work. Garrett Takamatsu will face him. This should be a great matchup. Jesse Hodges right behind him. And he takes outside for a ball. The Welland Jackfish chip away and end up with 3 runs in the top of the 10th. Jordan Castaldo is the runner out there at second base. That pitch was found the strike zone.
And again, you got to give credit to the Welland Jackfish hitters. They did a good job just kind of finding any holes possible on the infield there and capitalizing with 3 runs.
1-1, just outside. The 1-1 to Garrett Takamatsu. Check swing, strike. Called over the outside corner, it's 2-2. The last time Davey Mendez was asked to pitch multiple innings was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that was back on June 25th, part of a 9-5 Welland Jackfish win. He gave up 3 hits in that outing and struck out 6. He was credited with the save. Breaking ball finds the inside corner for a strike. And that's the first out of the inning. Tough righty v righty matchup here for Garrett Takamatsu and now Jesse Hodges. Aiden McCaskey's on deck. Aiden McCaskey represents the tying run. Pitch to Hodges is in there for a strike. Well, guys like Jesse Hodges, with his minor league experience, will be no stranger to pitchers with stuff like Davey Mendez. 0-1. Hodges hits one on the ground to third. Nice pick. To first for the out. Jordan Castaldo holds at second base, and now the Maple Leafs are down to their final out.
And again, it shows why Davey Mendez is such a dominant pitcher here in the IBL. You know, comes in with a tough task in the 9th just to hold the lead, or excuse me, hold the tie, does just that. And then right here, he just looked amazing, really, holding this game and holding the lead for the Welland Jackfish.
Aiden McCaskey is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Hasn't struck out yet today. First pitch to him was inside for a ball. And then a pitch catches the top of the zone for a strike. 1-1 on Aiden McCaskey. Two away. Maple Leafs looking for some 2-out magic. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Good cut there by Aiden McCaskey. Dan Mara is on deck. Davey Mendez looks in. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate.
And a good job to stay alive right there by McCaskey. And it looks like that one caught the catcher awkwardly somewhere on the leg. And he says, nope, I'm good. I'm good. Head on back. And he's giving the thumbs up multiple times.
It's like, I'm good. Just give me a minute.
Just give me a second. The game's almost there. Hold on. And we're good.
1-2. Fouled off again.
And the baby Giraffe's having a good at-bat right here.
Oh, yeah. 7-4, Welland Jackfish. Aiden McCaskey, the final hope. And it's inside and under the foot of McCaskey. And Jordan Castaldo will take his 90 feet at third base, but that won't mean much to the Welland Jackfish. Aiden McCaskey battling here against Davey Mendez. He's worked the count back to 2-2. Strike 3 called. Davey Mendez gets 2 good innings for the Welland Jackfish, and they win in extra innings, and another heartbreaking extra inning loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Welland Jackfish, they move 3 games up on first place in the Inter-County Baseball League, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, for the first time this season, are now 13-13, playing at 500.
Yeah, and really, you just got to give credit to Welland. Came through when they needed, had those small ball hits, played a good game off of the back of a great pitching performance from James Bradwell.
So I appreciate everyone tuning in here at Dominico Field. From Thomas West and Zach Benoit. Hope you have a great rest of your